Hello, I'm Dan, and today I'm going to be introducing you to the TigerGraph-cli. This command line tool will allow you to manage all of your TigerGraph Cloud solutions via the command line. That way you can manage them without using the interface, or if you want to integrate this into a script or some sort of automated process to spin up, spin down, or load solutions into your TigerGraph Cloud account, then that is entirely possible. So I'm just going to walk through the basics of how to use it. You can refer to the documentation for any more specifics or any of the flags for any of the commands, but I'll sort of just give you what you need to get started. So the first thing you'll want to do after installing the CLI is get logged into your TigerGraph Cloud account. So you can do that with TigerGraph CLI login. So this will prompt us for our TigerGraph Cloud username and password. So we'll just enter those. Both username and password can be configured as flags for the login command, so that way you could run this command completely headlessly without the need for any sort of follow-up asking for the username or password. This will take a couple seconds to log us in, but once we're connected, there we go. So now just to verify that we're connected, I mean, it says login successful, but what we can do is we can list out our solutions currently in our TigerGraph Cloud account. So we do TigerGraph CLI list. And here we'll see a list of the solutions linked with my TigerGraph Cloud account. So here we can see we just have one solution, test solution. It's currently stopped. And here's our machine ID, which will be useful for our operations commands, which I'll show off next. So these operations commands allow us to do things like start, shut down, terminate, and archive any solutions that we have in the cloud. So I'll get my solution started up so I can show off some more features of the TigerGraph CLI. So TigerGraph CLI ops. And then the action that we want to take is start, and our machine ID is right here, so we'll just copy and paste that. All right, so now we'll run this command. We should get feedback that our solution is being started. Yep, solution request being started, and we can verify that just by running list again, and we'll see that now our machine has gone from stopped to starting. If we hop over to the TigerGraph Cloud web interface, we can see that that starting change is also reflected on our solution. So we'll just give that a minute or two to start up, and then we can proceed. It's been a minute or two, and we can see now that our solution is ready. Now that our solution is ready, let's try installing one of our algorithms on it. So we can do this with TigerGraph-cli algos. This command will give us a list of the algorithms available to install on our TigerGraph solution, and then from there we can go ahead and pick one and install that on our machine. So we can see that we currently have 3 algorithms available to us. We'll just start with the first one, the BC subquery. So here we'll need our server URL. This we can get by opening up our solution and copying the server URL. If you had named your solution, then you'll have a much nicer name here. But since I did not give my name, it's just a string of characters. Graph name, we can see here my graph name is connectivity. And our user is TigerGraph, and our password. And we're currently running version 3.1.0 on our server. And there we go. So our query has been installed, or our algorithm has been installed rather. And we can go ahead and reference that from any queries that we want to write down the line. Similar to how we were able to load an algorithm, we can also use the TigerGraph CLI to load full demo solutions into our environment. So let's go ahead and do that with TigerGraph CLI demos. So once again, just like algorithms, this will list the demos that are currently available to us to install. So there we go. So I'm just going to start with demo 1. Server URL, we'll once again paste this from before. Graph name is connectivity. And our user is TigerGraph, and our password and version 3.1.0. Great. So now the TigerGraph CLI is going to begin the process of loading that demo onto our selected graph. within our selected solution. All right, so our demo install is just finished. We can see here that it's created our schema, installed our GSQL, and created our loading jobs. So if we head over to TigerGraph Studio, Graph Studio and we look at our schema, we can see that I have the default schema here from the social graph demo, which I started with, but we can also see that we've loaded in customer and fruit vertices with a purchase edge. These are the vertices and edges from our demo that we just loaded. And if we navigate to our queries, we can see that it has installed the recommended fruit query as well as the all graph query. So obviously you'd probably want to start one of these on a blank graph rather than something with a solution already loaded inside of it. But you get the idea that you can use the demo to spin up one of these demo graphs on any of your solutions that you may have running on TigerGraph-cli. Another feature of the TigerGraph CLI that I'll be showing off is its ability to operate in API mode. API mode gives you access to all of the features that the TigerGraph CLI offers via REST endpoints. So to demonstrate that, I'll be switching over to Postman and showing off some of the calls that you can make there. Once again, the full list of API calls is available in documentation, and I highly recommend you check that out if you're looking to do more than what I'm showing off here, but I'll just kind of show you an example of what something like the list call would look like. So the first thing you'll need is your API URL and your API port. Those are both listed down here when you run your command. So the URL will be that of the machine that is running TigerGraph CLI in API mode, and the port will be port 5000. For our endpoint here, we're using /list. This is a post request, and in the body of our form data, we have our server token. So if we make this call, we can see it's gone through on our CLI, and if we scroll down here, we can find our. So here we can see the graph that we had started up before. The social graph was our test solution. And it is still up and ready because we had just been loading some queries onto it. So you can also use this to do any of your operations that you had before, as well as logging in and loading algorithms onto your graphs as well. So that's it for the TigerGraph CLI. Feel free to check out our documentation and our community forums and post any questions if you need any help. And feel free to check out our developer Discord as well.